Hello, this is Billy Joe Saunders, WBO middleweight champion of the world. Subscribe to Sporting Icons to stay in touch with all the top news. God bless you all.
So Billy Joe Saunders defended his WBO super middleweight world title against four-time world title challenger Martin Murray. Now, I know some people weren't too excited about this fight. I liked this fight when it was very first announced a couple of years ago on the Frank Warren show. Of course, it fell through on a couple of occasions, and this time it actually happened. So I was okay with it, and I understand when people say Martin Murray, he's 38 years old, he's been in world title fights four times before, come up short, should have won two of them, maybe arguably three, who knows. But the thing is, I thought it was going to be a good fight. I didn't expect a stoppage or anything like that. Now, what I did expect, though, was a little bit closer fight. I did expect that, so I was very wrong on that one. But the thing is that Billy Joe Saunders, he was more the aggressor in this fight. And of course, him being with Mark Tibbs now, Mark Tibbs, excellent trainer, been on the channel quite a few times, real cool guy. But he's brought a bit more aggression to Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders is a very fleet-footed fighter. Very nimble, very quick, very difficult to hit. But he does a lot of that on the back foot. He was pretty much the aggressor in this fight, and he looked really, really good. And I know Billy Joe Saunders has been under fire over his last few fights, really, because he hasn't really performed. But against Martin Murray, he has performed. In my opinion, I thought that was a pretty good performance. Martin Murray, he's pretty good at fighting southpaws anyway. So I can't say that it was that which made Billy Joe Saunders dominant, that maybe Murray couldn't handle a southpaw. He certainly can, and he's shown that in history. But Martin Murray is a very capable fighter, very tough, durable guy, and can be very aggressive. But I don't exactly know what the tactics were of Martin Murray. I can only presume it was a case of either he wasn't confident in his own endurance going down the stretch towards the 12 rounds, so maybe he was saving himself a little bit, or he thought by pot-shotting Billy Joe to the gut, maybe Billy Joe hasn't been living the life during lockdown and everything, obviously been out of the ring for quite some time, maybe he would tie down the stretch, then Martin Murray would take over late on in the fight. I don't know which one it was. Either way, some of the body shots were doing okay, but for me, Martin Murray, not really busy enough. Now, don't be wrong, Billy Joe, he was using some dirty tactics, but like many fighters do, and you do it until the referee tells you not to do it. Okay, you get X amount of warnings, and he got a couple of warnings for going in with a head, pushing the wrist into the face of Martin Murray and things like that. But Billy Joe Saunders, he was throwing the combinations. He was the one that was landing some pretty good uppercuts, and Martin Murray really took him. He really did. But Martin Murray just throwing the odd punch here and there. He didn't. For me, he wasn't busy enough. But I think a lot of that is down to Billy Joe Saunders and his style. The fact that Billy Joe looked pretty good. This is the kind of performance that people would want to see from Billy Joe Saunders. And I think that's fair to say. And that's exactly what he's done. And I don't want to hear, but that was against Martin Murray. No, Martin Murray is a very, very good fighter. Very good fighter. He hasn't always performed at times, but he's a very, very good fighter. But I think that Billy Joe Saunders was just too good for him. And that's all it was. For me, 100% Billy Joe Saunders win. I gave Martin Murray 2, maybe 3 rounds if I'm being really generous. But at the same time, Billy Joe Saunders, would this kind of performance prove that he's ready for a Canelo or potentially the Canelo Callum Smith winner? Maybe, I don't know. But I think Billy Joe, he always fights to the ability of his opponent. And quite often when he's fighting somebody who's not on the elite level, he kind of fights down to their level, but ups it just a little bit, just enough to get the win. But with Martin Murray is a very, very good fighter, and Billy Joe Saunders performed above that. So him fighting, for example, Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, I think we'll probably see the best of him, to be honest with you. But anyway, will that be enough to beat Canelo? Who knows? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, excellent performance, dominating performance from Billy Joe Saunders. It's the kind of performance that a lot of us have been wanting to see from Billy Joe for quite some time. So for me, hopefully he keeps active. I think that's probably the most important thing. Keep active. He's got an excellent trainer in the corner now with Mark Tibbs. Well, I say now, I mean, Billy Joe's, he's always had some good coaches in the corner. Of course, you have with Mark Tibbs, his dad, and Jimmy, legend that he is, with Ben Davison and that as well. Briefly, Adam Booth for probably about a year or two with Dominic Ingle and that. So he's always had good trainers and good people and that around him. But I think Mark Tibbs is the right fit for Billy Joe Saunders, in my honest opinion. Either way, excellent performance for him. What's going to happen with Martin Murray now, I don't know. We know that he did retire once more, but he come back because he wanted to have at least one more crack at the world title. This was his crack at the world title, but definitely come up short in my opinion. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.